around and have everyone say who they're playing, and start off, of course, with Savvy.
Hi, hello, that's me. I'm Savvy. You can find me on the internets at Savvy Seaworth, mostly on Twitter until that inevitably burns to the ground. And then I think I'm just going to live on Discord after that. So join us there. We have many great places to be, like LP's Discord, which is always fun. You can find me when I'm not on this channel on twitch.tv/game nights, game with two G's and nights with a K, Thursdays through Mondays, either playing in games or running them. Tonight I am just straight up forgot my character's name. I'm playing Alhena, who is a Centaur Circle of the Stars druid.
Hi, everyone. I'm Val. You can find me at the Kraken's Crown. At some places. I'm mostly over on GGK Thursdays through Mondays. Also playing and running games with Savvy. But tonight I'm going to be playing Arrow, who is a Water Genasi monk.
Hi, I'm Tanya at Tanya Rolling Places. Google my name. It's hard to spell, so it's easy to find. But tonight I am Moxie, a tiefling bard.
Sorry, I missed the button and clicked it like 4 times. Hi, I'm Rachel. Rachel Elizabeth here on Twitch. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Rachel Elizabeth with a Z in the middle instead of an S. Tonight I am playing Talon, the High Elf Beastmaster Ranger.
And I'm Alex, OMG, it's some guy on the internets, mostly over on GGK, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And in this game, I am playing Colchis, who is a Minotaur Oath of the Ancients Paladin.
And I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me on the Twitters and the Twitches at LB Hackemup. I am going to be running this game. I'm your dungeon mistress for the evening. And I'm very excited to get back into things. So let's start off with a wonderful recap done by the beautiful, wonderful Rachel.
Hi, that's me, the beautiful, wonderful Rachel. I can't even say my own name tonight. Hi, previously on Playthings of the Gods. Our adventurers headed out into the swamp with Greer, the little trash panda friend, to get some adhesive for ship repairs. The adhesive happened to be a byproduct of a squishy goo monster they had to wrangle and squeeze, so that was pretty gross, but they ended up with buckets of goo, so mission accomplished. On the way back to the ship, they felled a tree or two for mass repairs and parted ways with Greer. Back on the ship, Kulkus went to see Dr. Sue. He asked if she needed more measurements from him and firmly stated that he would appreciate being awake for any further study. Sue said she would take that into consideration and that she had some questions for him, and he answered them as well as he could. Topside, the rest of the group helped out the crew with repairs and spent the rest of the evening relaxing. Moxie, Quattison, and Alhena played some music together before everyone turned in. The next day, they made the decision to slow travel in the direction their new piece of equipment was pointing them, but not use it to portal us to not attract the attention of the giant creature that attacked them as they left Ravnica. They slowly crossed the swamp of Oblivion, and Alhena kept a lookout on the front of the ship while Talon took up a spot in the crow's nest, both keeping an eye out from different vantage points. At one point, Alhena pulled Arrow aside and asked them if they were okay with possibly going to the plane of water. They were less than excited. Once upon a time, Arrow's dad worked as a personal chef for the Djinn ruler of the Plane of Water when they were a child, and when they both left, the Djinn was none too pleased. They would, however, be excited to see Uncle Reggie, their Kraken family friend, so the Plane of Water may not be all bad. Alhena gently encouraged Arrow to tell everyone else their stories so they could all brainstorm ways to keep them safe if they ended up in the Plane of Water, and it was looking like they were going to. Night fell, and Talon saw something in the distance. It looked like pulsing lights. Kulkus looked out, and to him, it kind of looked like a party. As it drew closer, Talon saw a single figure dancing. She called out to her friends that they were never going to believe this, but Sechi was vibing nearby. They went to see what she was up to. Sechi said she was on a mission from her god to guard the entrance to their plane of elemental chaos. Everyone was a bit on edge about the fact that they ran into somebody that they knew all the way on the plane of ooze, but eventually almost everyone loosened up and partied with Sechi. The squad crashed on the ship, then joined her at her post for breakfast, where she gifted them with 2 party rocks. And when we last left our adventurers, they were headed ever further toward the plane of water and possibly Arrow's past.
Thank you very much. I just want to preface the rest of the evening by saying I have a little bit of a sketchy throat, and I'm trying to drink this tea, but it's too hot, so it may get better as the night goes on, but it is going to be a little scritchy right now. But where we join our companions tonight, the Playthings are on the boat. Everything has been fixed up. The masts are back to where they're supposed to be. The crew is bustling about doing their crewly duties. And you guys continue through this plane of ooze. As you move more into the swamp, the swamp of oblivion, the trees start to get a little closer together. It's a lot harder to see. The ship slows so that they don't run into anything, and the fog begins to get thicker. As you continue through this area, I think Jenna is going to gather you to together, and just as this is probably over the course of you've been traveling for about a day deeper into the swamp. There have been creatures and things that you've seen, but nothing has seemed to bother your ship since it's up above the ground, flying about like, I don't know, 10 yards, 20 yards above the trees, depending on, or above the ground, depending on the availability between the trees. She'll gather you guys together on, I would say, in the mess hall, and she is going to sit y'all down and say, so I think we should talk about what is before us. We're most likely going to be traveling for a while if we have to do it manually, but we are still on track with following the to find Jacob. So if there's anything, we're going to have to hopefully find supplies sooner rather than later, but the plane of water is, I've only been there twice myself, but some others of the ship have been there more, but mostly for travels with the shipping company, so it's not very much of a pleasure cruise, as you know. We will be protected in our bubble, but we do have to replenish it. There are ports. I say ports, but in general, the plane of water is it can be very disturbing at first because it's a lot like being in the astral sea, except there is less, and there's less visibility. So, Era, as you would know, there is no sky, there is no ground. It is just water. There are currents that we can travel through, like a road, but for the most part, it is a lot of floating land masses. There is, like I said, no ground, so it's more like spherical, like little planets of creatures and corals and such. There are some places, like the I believe it's called the Glass Citadel, that is half water, half air. But a lot of the like cities that you will come across have a special, at least someone who can find us a way to breathe underwater, or replenish our air cycle. We can dock, or we can, I guess, stop moving for a few days, and Bartholomew can create us more air if we need to, but it will take time, and we will lose time on the travel. So that's kind of where we're at now. I know that you didn't sign up for a long travel, but I cannot guarantee that it's going to be fast, knowing what is behind us and what is tracking us. We still don't know what is tracking us, right? No. Okay. Well, I think that is something we should do some research in if we get the chance.
Oh, I did want to say before we move off the topic. In the pinch, I do have something for the breathing underwater problem.
Oh, do you have? Is it one person or is it a group?
Up to 10. It lasts
Awesome.
for about 24 hours. So
that's perfect. Okay.
in a pinch,
Right.
we won't drown.
Good. Like I said, we'll have the bubble of protection. So usually, if a fish or something such does come into the air bubble, just kind of push it back out. That's really.
Will it come all the way in, like flop into our ship?
Yeah, sometimes it does happen. We had a school of fish hit us once, and that was quite the cleanup, you know. But we did have dinner for a while.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a good time to tell you that I wouldn't say afraid of fish, but I don't like them.
Have you ever come across a koatoa?
A what?
It's like, do you know what a mer person is?
Yeah.
Think that, but the opposite.
Oh, I don't mean to sound judgmental, but that's different. Yeah.
It sure is. And they're usually like little, like goblins in our world. They're will attack, but they're
So
normally not.
why'd you bring those up? Are they gonna come into our boat?
No, I'm just saying that they are people-sized, fish-headed beings. So
No, what Jenna is doing is you said you were afraid of something, so she decided to freak you out more.
Yeah,
no,
I
I'm
was
just
gonna
I
say,
just
cool,
warning
cool.
about what we might come across. That's where they come from. So they're quite common. So just preparing you for this eventuality.
I shouldn't have said anything.
It's,
Like,
well,
spoiler alert, there are a lot of fish.
a lot of fish.
I'll
I find
deal.
it
I shouldn't say
fascinating.
anything. I'll be fine.
Well, now
What?
we know we can keep them away from you.
Right.
I'll touch one. I just don't want to.
Yes, they are people. So,
I
or
wouldn't
are you
touch
talking
them
about normal
without
fish?
asking.
Right. Yeah.
All of the above.
All fish are people. In the
I mean,
Fish, all
you
friends,
don't know.
not
and if you
food.
say
Have you ever
otherwise, honestly,
seen-
you're a bigot.
Have you
So
ever seen that play, The Little Mermaid? Yeah, just all the fish talk.
Right.
We said
oh.
all fish are people, but we eat fish, but I don't eat people, so I'm having a blurred line situation here. But you know what? We'll discuss this some other time. We'll philosophize some other time.
All right. Is there any you guys have any questions? Arrow would know more than I do about this sort of thing, but I'm
Are
happy to
we
help.
Planning on
Debatable.
stopping at a port?
We will probably have to at some point to replenish our food supplies and fresh water
it-
and such.
Is it possible to stop at one that might have a library we could utilize? Are there libraries?
I
Arrow?
assume so.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a library I could go to.
Like a dry library, a dry
library.
Library?
That's what we call them in the plane of water. I'm sure there's something. Most of them would
Just
be
to do some
underwater,
maybe
though.
research on whatever is following us.
Yeah.
Again, I can handle the underwater breathing thing if we want to
Yeah.
like split up and stuff. So
You might can you read Aquan?
good question.
No. Lots of languages, not that one.
Well, I can help you with that.
Mhm.
I know it might come as a surprise, but I do know how to read.
Do you like to read?
Not if I can help it.
Well, if I need you to translate,
I can do that.
I promise to keep the reading to a minimum.
That's fine. I mean, it's important. I just don't like read for fun, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, do we get to try food from your native homeland, Arrow?
Yeah. Yeah, I can show you some
Cool.
good places. I mean, it's a lot of seafood.
We're very food motivated,
I mean,
if you
it's all
haven't
seafood.
noticed.
Okay.
Arrow's our new friend, so I want to get to know them better, you know? Through food.
I found it's like the best way to get to know people. Yeah, we can hit up some spots.
All right.
Okay. That's the only thing I would like to try to steer us towards, if we can.
There are maps that we can use with the plane of water, but most of them are very inaccurate because things float and it's like trying to map the astral sea. Things move and it is in 3 dimensions. So we're just going to follow the apparatus towards where Jacob is and kind of hope for the best. If we see something off in the distance, we can go, but for the most part, just straight ahead till dawn.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright. Well, strap in. You can attempt to make yourselves useful or relax for a while. We should be cruising pretty seamlessly. Unless there is a problem. So if you want to take a break, relax, read a book. We'll let you know if we need anything. Alright.
Aye, aye, Captain.
She nods her head. and moves on. You guys continue through this sort of as it gets mistier and mistier. The humidity in the air becomes very apparent. Everyone feels like they're covered in a layer of sweat and or moisture. And after another probably 12 hours in this mist, moving very slowly to get through without hitting anything, you kind of notice that everything's drying out a little bit. And that's because the bubble has sort of activated. As you find yourselves, instead of moving, you can the sphere around you is holding back this mist, and you can kind of see it moving, and you see more and more little particles in it. And as you continue on over the next couple of hours, you kind of see a break, and there is a light in front of you, and you come out of this sort of mist and particled space, and see a blue-green vision in front of you. I guess you are surrounded by water now, and it has normally where you would see like the surface with the light rippling down in from it, the water seems to be just illuminated. There is no light source. It is just lighter in there, especially from where you just came from. And there's some things floating for the most part where you are. It is just clear waters. It's a little disorienting, I would think, because of there is no up, there is no down. Bartholomew keeps the ship pointed in the correct direction, and moving on. He will take breaks, and Jenna will take over for steering the ship in the right direction. But you guys you're going to have a few days of downtime. Is there anything you guys would like to do in that time before we get more into the plane of water?
Yeah, at some point, Colchis would try and find, probably just a quick minute, aside from his normal, like, daily prayers, he would try and make an extra concerted effort to try and reach out, and try and, hopefully contact Lyra herself, but get some kind of guidance or information about the thing that was chasing after us.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a religion roll.
And do 3 on a die for an 8.
I'm gonna say the first time you reach out, you don't really get anything. It feels different reaching out here, whereas you kind of can always feel the presence of your god. It almost feels muffled in this plane. You're a little bit further away. But if you want to keep trying, I'll let you. I mean, you can, if you do it, like if you take enough time to do it over the days, then at some point you are gonna make it through. I don't want to just make you roll and roll and roll.
Yeah.
So how do you pray? What does it look like?
I think mostly for the morning and evening prayers, he just does, the typical like hands clasp at the bedside or whatever. But seeing that isn't really cutting it, he starts trying to find ways to do little acts of joy to try and amplify and help reach Lyra. So, double checking. I don't think I have any instrument proficiencies or anything, but will, maybe at some point someone stumbles across him doing like a jig up on one of the decks or something, or like trying to compose a poem or something.
So if you want to try to recruit someone into it, you can definitely do that. But if you are all right, you reach out, you feel that sort of connection. What exactly are you looking for? What do you say?
We are trying to fulfill the mission you have set before us, but it is clear that something very powerful, someone or something, does not want us to succeed.
Mhm.
Who or what is it, and what can we do to vanquish them or avoid their notice?
Okay. I think that as you begin this sort of prayer, this meditation, these acts of joy, you kind of feel a hand reaching out for you, and very much so get pulled, at least your consciousness does, into a distant sort of realm, I would say. Your mind is taken towards your goddess, and you see these sort of like fading in and out, blinking lights, a lot of little the fairy lights, it's like a room full of warm warmth and light, and like a back patio on a cool night, there's a warm fire going, that sort of thing, and you see your goddess sort of sitting next, like on the edge of this area, and she sort of crosses her legs and looks back at you, and I'm so glad to see you after all this time. You've been in the dark for quite some time, Calcus.
Yes, I did not really anticipate that leaving the material plane would make it harder to reach you.
Oh yes, leaving the plane does add this filter over most of our communication, but I'm glad that you could find me now.
As am I. How have things been in our absence?
Oh, fine. The plane is still doing well. The troubles won't be coming for some time, so hopefully everything is just, happy.
That is good to hear. We have been finding and making joy on our travels, but
I've
there have
seen.
also
I can
been...
feel them even if I can't actually see through your eyes.
Yes, and I think Colcos would probably get caught up a little bit and share about, like, the ceremonies and the celebrations we did with Alhena's tribe, and
Yeah.
'cause I think that's mostly been it. And mention, Sechi and how she's a party
Yeah.
girl, and like
Oh,
this
yes.
person that the others seem to know.
Yes. I very much enjoy her, even though she's not one of mine. She still brings joy and light. She is followed by it, I would say. So, you wanted to know about Mistra?
If that's who it is, I think we suspected it, but I don't know that we had confirmation.
I don't know if that would make sense. I mean, Mistra isn't against us, at least not against me, who would be with alignment of Valrea and Lythander. That would be strange. I have not heard of any troubles going on, or anyone who's going to follow you on behalf of us would be in the dark. And Mistra is not one made of darkness. Perhaps Shar? You know what? I could put out some feelers.
That would be greatly appreciated.
All right, I will talk to, well, I cannot talk to Mistra directly, but I know a person who knows her. Well, a god.
As you see fit, the best way for you to accomplish your works.
Okay. Have you seen any fun new animals on your journey?
There was a creature who was quite gooey. That was an interesting encounter.
Was it something that you fought?
Yes, we ultimately did have to fight it, but there was a raccoon person who helped guide us through the plane of ooze, helped us
Oh.
get on our way.
Were they cuddly?
They seemed like it. We did not impose so much as to do any cuddling.
Of course, with consent.
Of course.
All right. Well, keep talking and I'll try to listen as much as possible. And I'll look into it. Um, I guess, is there anything else you need of me?
I would hate to ask for more aid directly, but if you can, any guidance you might offer us. I know that we are. I do worry about Arrow now that we are back in their home plane, a place that they said they did not wish to return to.
Sometimes the path forward, you have to go back a little bit. Like on a trail, through the woods.
Yes, that makes sense.
I will say, I cannot see ahead. There is a darkness ahead of you, of all of you. But well, I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's just a block, but I am not omniscient. I can't see the future, but I do worry, so stay safe, okay?
We will do our best.
Okay. If you don't hear from me in, well, a short period of time, I suppose. I don't know how things move on your world. Quickly, from what I remember. Try and reach out again?
Of course.
Okay. Well, also, I think you should try dancing more.
Oh, yes, suppose. It's easier to do when there are others dancing. When it's just myself, I tend to get self-conscious.
You know what you have that no one else on your ship has?
I was going to say hooves, but that's not correct.
Well, you have my love in your heart, which I hope would guide you and give you a little bit of, I guess, the ability to dance to your own beat. Courage. That's the word.
Yes, you do certainly inspire courage in me in other ways. I suppose I can meditate on it with regards to dancing as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's all I have.
I would, of course, love to bask in your presence more, but I feel I should rejoin the others. Who
I
knows
think that's
when?
for the best.
I might miss seeing a weird fish go by, and then I wouldn't be able to tell you about it in our next chat.
Well, you wouldn't want that. Goodbye.
Farewell.
And Shakira moves back into the night. Your consciousness moves back into your body. And yeah. She and you're back on the ship.
I would find the others at various points and just be like, Lyra doesn't think it's Mr. after us, but doesn't know who else, and so would be said she would put out feelers.
That's good.
So I don't know if it's worrying or encouraging that the gods are not as omniscient as we often think they are.
It's a troubling thought either way.
Yeah, I haven't really tried to contact the Blood Queen really since we left. So I'll have to do that at some point
Perhaps
and
you
just
should.
see how easy the connection is.
Did take some effort on my part. I hope that for you it wouldn't require too much blood involved.
I mean, she's been talking to me since before I knew it was her, so.
Well, thank you for asking her, Colchis. I will thank her in my prayers later.
I'm sure she would appreciate that.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything they want to do in the couple days until we, as you're traveling?
Moxie's just been like on the deck trying to face her fish fears. Like, I'm not that afraid of fish. It's fine.
Okay.
And like when one comes in, she does try to scoop it up.
Okay. Do you want to make a Constitution saving throw for me?
Sure. Ooh, 19.
Yeah, you buck it up, man. You're able to toss that fish. You toss it. It doesn't quite get to the end of the bubble, but luckily it is a sphere, so it just kind of falls and then moves out. Does a little wiggle as it goes.
Moxie's pretty proud of herself.
As you should be.
I think there are probably a few times where Arrow will go for a swim outside the boat because they can and haven't been in the water for a long time. I mean, they haven't been in the real water for a long time, and there's water back on in the material plane, but it's just not the same. It's that fake water.
That's fair.
It's not that natural stuff.
Yeah. I think you are able to also sort of direct towards currents as well. You kind of have a natural. You in the water you have a feel for the way the water is pulling. So even if they're trying to go up a little bit, you can tell them, okay, this current is going this way, and it's probably going to make us go faster. We can go up and around, sort of thing. And they're very grateful for your ability to navigate these waters better. Yeah. All right.
Oh, I just thought of something. Alhano does want to have a brief conversation with Arrow.
Oh no.
No.
Okay. I just get nervous anytime anyone wants to talk to me.
Oh, it's not about you, trust me.
Okay, good.
It's probably after like she's seen like Arrow go out and go swim and stuff. Arrow, can I ask you a question?
Imagine I was just splashed back inside, hair back. Yeah. Oh, I got water in my hair. Yeah. What's up?
Did you have to learn to swim, or have you always known how to swim?
If I did have to learn, I don't really remember. It's sort of like, I imagine it's the same for you learning how to walk. Do you remember learning how to walk?
No, not really.
Yeah. So, kind of the same thing. I mean, it was just water everywhere when I was living here, so just kind of how you get around. Actually, the walking part was the harder part. Once like I didn't get on like dry land, like walking around for till I was like maybe like 6. That was weird.
I bet. It has occurred to me that I don't think I've ever been completely underwater.
Oh. So have you ever swum before?
I can swim some. More like fording rivers.
Okay.
And things. It has just occurred to me that I don't know if I'm going to be very good at swimming.
I imagine the biggest concern is like buoyancy, like just because like you're more designed to be on like land and stuff. So
Also, I don't know how fast I can propel myself forward.
yeah, I've never known a centaur that in the plane of water. Like I'd never met a centaur until we came to your world or their world, someone's world.
Any
So
tips?
for swimming, with hooves. No, I don't have any tips. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. I just thought I'd ask.
But you said you got something for like breathing underwater, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's like the biggest concern is not drowning, and you've got that covered.
That is true.
Otherwise, I think just like with anything, it's just gonna take some practice. You got to kind of find what works for you. There's a lot of people in the plane of water that different physiologies. Like I don't have, fins and stuff, so I swim in my own way, and other people do, like mermaids, stuff like that. So some people have an easier time than others. I think you just gotta kind of find your own rhythm, go with the flow.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Are seahorses real?
Seahorses? Like, yeah, they don't look like horses. They're kind of like the opposite of you, actually. It's like horse top, fish bottom.
That sounds frightening.
I guess describing it that way does sound a little frightening, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
entertaining my questions.
If I see a seahorse, I'll point it out to you. I mean, we got most of them are really tiny. There are some big ones out there
Oh,
too.
they're
So,
small.
most of them, yeah.
Okay. That does change the sort of
Yeah.
image I had in my head. Because if they were me-sized, I was going to maybe be a little frightened.
How this is a question for DM. How fantastic! Like it would human-sized seahorses, would horse-sized seahorses exist in this world?
I'm picturing there are seahorses that are like from The Little Mermaid, where they
that they're like riding on the back of like their actual horses.
I don't think that's the
Joke
most
about
like efficient way for people to get around because they do move very slowly in
Yeah.
real life.
It's
But
more. I imagine they just use them to pull like the like more
They're like-
for showmanship kind of.
Yeah, they're like, I would say they're more like cattle in the sense that like they're like the big horses or like the cows that pull like the heavy stuff
like Clydesdales.
very carefully and slowly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there might be some like rich people, royalty, stuff like that might have some that are like horse size, but they've been like bred for that specific purpose.
So they're not like people. They're like livestock.
Oh no, they're like horses, like horses.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah. You're asking. I have never seen like a centaur, a sea centaur.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what a mermaid is.
Yeah, kinda.
I have a lot to think about. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Well,
And-
I always do.
And if you need help swimming, I can help you.
Okay.
I should probably get a mop before I drip all over the ground here and someone yells at me again.
And you do. All right.
And it is good.
Anything else from our companions? No? All right. As you maneuver your way through this ocean, through the currents, through this plane of water, you start to, every once in a while, you'll see, like floating, like was described, floating balls of, like plants or masses, like in the astral sea, but they're all more spherical than anything in the astral sea that's like broken. Things seem to like gather to itself. There are schools of fish. There are large mammal type like dolphins or giant whales moving off in the distance. But for the most part, it does seem to be a bit of empty space. But as you continue moving on, I would say on day 4 or 5, you come across sort of in the distance what looks to be a landmass like you've seen before. But as you get closer, it starts to be clear that it's bigger. And it does have a lot of different spikies coming off of it. It's very contained. There don't seem to be anything like floating off of it, like large plants or anything like that. You continue to move closer to it, and Arrow, this looks a little familiar to you as you continue on, as you see before you it's basically a large floating sphere in the Forever Sea. Buildings jet out in all directions like coral reefs suspended and spinning. As you approach the city, it becomes larger, more clear, and as it rotates, the tallest spire comes into view. What seems to be a large castle stretching out over most of the sphere is made of blue and golds. Doorways that appear to be windows are circular and sort of in the center of the walls. And behind this building, everyone who is on the deck of the ship can see there are tentacles around this building, wrapped around and going into different spots. But Arrow, you do recognize this building and this sort of city.
Fuck. Just like turning back towards the crew and whoever's at the helm right now. Is that where we're going, or we're going around? Towards? Around?
Jenna pops down from the wheel and says, "Well, we are quite low on supplies. I was hoping that we'd be able to stop. Is this a city?
Yes.
Do they have trade?
Yeah.
Then I think we're going to stop unless there's something else I need to know. Are those tentacles?
Those are. That's Reggie.
Yes. I'm sorry.
It's my uncle, Reggie.
I love your whimsy. I'm going to need you to clarify. Your uncle has tentacles.
Yeah.
Is there something I don't know about water genasi?
No. Oh, not like biological uncle. Like, we're not like blood related, but like adopted uncle. He's a kraken.
A kraken.
Yeah. And that's the castle. This is like the city of 10,000 pearls, the jewel of the plain of ocean, the like capital city, the one that I didn't want to go to more than anything in the world. And that's where we're going. Cool.
Oh boy. I'm really sorry. I think we're going to have to stop. You can stay on the ship if you'd like.
No, I should have known. No, it's a big city. I think it'll be good. I'm gonna go get a cloak.
All right.
If there's any sort of like, they ask who's on board, just don't give them my name, please.
Of course. No need.
Cool. What alias would you like to go by, Arrow?
How about Bolt?
Perfect.
Just so we're all clear, you're not in trouble here, are you? Like from the law?
I can't really skirt around that one. Yeah, kinda.
How?
I mean, the law in a very literal sense of like the ruler. Like, I didn't do any crime. Well, I guess it's technically a crime. Insubordination, that's a crime, right? Treason, that's probably a crime.
Insubordination, not a crime. Treason is a crime, at least in our plane.
Okay, so treason's the one where somebody that's in charge, the ruler of the place, tells you to do something and you don't do what they tell you to do.
Well, is what you did directly go against like the state or city in general? Like, or just
Uh,
the ruler?
is
It'd
it
be very
Empress? Is that
dependent.
what we're going? What's the term? I forgot the term for the ruler of.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself.
That's
They
okay.
are known as the Padishah.
Padishah. That's right. So the Padishah, the ruler of the city, wanted me to stay, and I left.
I don't think that's treason.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not very well versed in the subject, but that wouldn't be treason where I came from. That would just be like, I'm out and just choosing to leave. Now, whether or not there will be repercussions for that, why don't you just borrow my cloak?
Why don't I do that? That sounds
Yeah.
like, if you don't mind.
Nope. Just, it's nothing special. It's just like it's not going to camouflage you here because it's more for like the forest, but it's a little ranger cloak.
Just let's go. Bolt, is that the name?
Because it's
Bolt.
like arrow.
Arrow.
Right.
Make it a bit easier for us to remember.
BOLTE. Bolt.
Wonderful. Everyone hydrate. All right.
Let's shove head outside the bubble.
Salt water. No.
Saltwater, no.
Thank you, Chris.
But a tabaxi drinks salt water. This is a question because cats can drink salt water because their kidneys are incredible.
They can?
I don't think they should.
I mean, it's not ideal, but they
Those
can.
are two very different words.
Why are their kidneys so good? Like, what evolutionary thing?
Oh.
Anyways, that's another topic.
That's a different question. All right, yeah, you guys move into this city. It's fairly large. I would say it's not quite as large as Waterdeep, but it is a big city. You can make dock in basically there are these docks sticking out. The difficult thing about the Plane of Water and this city in particular is there are no streets. It is more of ways. So people it's like when you're on campus and there are paths that people just take even though they're not paved. So there are ways that people are swimming and creatures are going, but for the most part there is no like ground to walk on. And everything is spherical in terms of like getting from one place to another. You can kind of just swim up to a door that's up high. A lot of different places have if it is a window, it's pretty easy to tell because there are some sort of grates or bars on them to indicate that it's not a door, especially because fish like to roam around. So it's pretty easy to tell, but most of the there's archways, there's doors, but they are not as you guys are familiar with, like at the bottom of the thing. Yes, okay, thank you. At the bottom of the buildings, they are, kind of just haphazardly in places. Arrow, you're pretty familiar with this area. You lived here for like 18 years or something like that. Yeah. So you can pretty easily navigate the city if you'd like to. They're gonna dock the boat and try to head out to the market to get supplies. You guys just came into a ton of money, so if there's any shopping you guys need to do or anything like that, there is a market. Basically, the city's at your disposal. I think that Jenna is going to say that they are going to probably have to stay here for a little while, maybe like 24 hours, resupply, re-inflate the air balloon, the air supply, and take a rest basically because you've been traveling nonstop for a few days now. So the city is at your disposal. Is there anything you guys? What would you care to do on this cool new plane?
Can we quickly clarify what you meant by a lot of money? Because I don't remember that, and I only have 9 gold on my character sheet.
I thought Breer gave you guys a bunch of money. Was I wrong?
I don't remember that.
Did he not give you money?
I don't remember that.
What did he give you?
I show 100, but I don't know
I think
why.
he just helped us with the
With
boat.
the ship.
I have money if we need to shop. I've had money for a while. So.
Yeah, I have like 210 gold, but I think that was from like when we like helped somebody get from like a play, like when we escorted somebody. I
Oh.
think I don't think we haven't gotten any like money since we
No one's
started.
paid us in forever.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 24 gold to my name, so.
Uh-huh. Well, if you guys want an allowance, Jenna will give you some money.
Money,
I guess.
Mom.
Apparently I wrote a note to have Breer give you guys money, but
Oh look! Breer
I mean,
left
you
this
can
in
say
a box.
he did.
I guess yeah.
Gave it to-
Yeah, he gave you the equivalent of you each having about 200 gold.
Oh,
Okay.
Because boy, does he not need it.
I wish we had gotten that back then because I would love to have to ask him where he got the gold from.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Swamp
Dredging
pirate.
it out of the swamp.
Oh, by the way, he gave this to me and wanted me to split it up between all. of us.
Yeah, right.
What?
No, I didn't ask him where I got it.
Boy, a lot of people die in the Swamp of Oblivion.
He's just
Their
Their
fine
stuff's just there.
Just corpse robbing.
I mean,
Yeah.
what else
I
are you
love
gonna do?
that.
I imagine Breer just like sleeps on a pile of money.
Basically.
If they're
Oh, you guys
pure
need
gold
money?
coins, wouldn't they be like malleable enough? Like that could
Yeah, it just
become like
forms
a
this-
memory foam mattress.
He's got like a dragon horde under his little swamp hut.
Yeah, he's all fluff, so like no issues.
In the pockets, just handing out money.
Yeah. The pockets are like in his fur for some reason. Like okay.
He just jingles all he wants.
Yeah.
I love that for him. Talon just wants to find a library at some point while we're
Okay.
here, if that's a thing. So she could do some research.
Yeah, do I know
Maybe
of
they
one
have
that I
that.
could take?
There is definitely a really nice library in the palace.
Okay.
A lot of the books out here that you'll find are more like commercial stuff. Like you could find a romance novel or a history book, like that sort
But
of
like
thing.
archives, like
Yeah.
normal stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
Errol,
don't-
you're not comfortable going to the palace. You can just point me in the direction. I'm sure there's somebody I can like pay for access for a day.
The problem is you're gonna need me to read it.
I'm sure there are people working in there that can translate something if I find a book that I can't read.
Okay.
I don't want you to end up in a situation that makes you uncomfortable.
I kind of. I also wanted to find Reggie too, and Reggie doesn't really leave the palace.
Understandably so.
Does anyone have anything that could like magically change my appearance or anything like that?
Don't
I-
think so, but
I
let
can make you
me-
very sneaky. That's about all I can do.
I can send him a message.
If we could do that, then Reggie might be able to get us in through a back door or something. Listen, it's a big palace. Like, we're not going to have to worry about, like, again, unless I go up to a guard or somebody important and give them my name, I will probably be fine. But I know how important it is for us to get this information, and I also worry about, like, if you start asking people to read for you at the palace, they're gonna wonder
This-
what you're looking into.
I mean, the search could also yield absolutely nothing. I mean, alternatively, Alhena and I could go and you guys can do whatever. And then if we find something that we need somebody to read, they can send you a message. But if you want to see Uncle Reggie too, like we can figure out a way to do that. If I have to cause a distraction, I have to cause a distraction. Moxie and I are good at that,
I mean,
apparently.
Reggie's the one that helped me get out, so I'm sure that he'll be more than willing to help me get back in if or help y'all get back in.
Well, why don't I just send a messenger to him?
Yeah,
You
I
can
think
Well, you can describe in detail what he looks like, right? Then I just need like a fish or something. I think a fish counts.
As an animal messenger.
Should. It's just a tiny beast.
I imagine fish are like birds in this.
It says
city.
like
Sure.
a squirrel, a blue jay, or a bat as examples. So
You can find
They're
a
like
fish.
pigeons. Just like take out a
Find a
bunch
fish.
of breadcrumbs, let them loose in the water, and they all just start swooping down.
okay. Well, let's find a fish.
All right.
Roll find a fish.
You open your eyes and there are fish.
Holy shit!
Oh
We
my
can open our
God.
eyes down here.
They are outside of the bubble. So if you'd like to cast water breathing on everybody and move out, you're definitely, or you can. Is it a telepath thing?
What?
To speak, is it a telepathy thing to these?
No, animal messenger. Just I find an animal and I cast the spell on them, and then I can describe the person the message is going to, and then give them the message, and essentially they just like parrot the message when they get
Cool.
there.
Okay. Yeah, you are definitely able to do this. Value Arrow would know that you could do it in common. That's not a problem for yeah. So yeah, you send out this message. And what exactly do you say?
Arrow, what do you want me to say?
Just call him Reggie. Tell him that Arrow's here. Ask him where we could go to talk to him privately.
Well, it's not going to be able to answer me back.
Tell him. Oh, would I know of a place where like he can reach outside the castle?
Yes. So you would know that he has the ability to telepathically link with creatures within 6 miles.
Oh, 6 miles. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So as
Why
long
don't you
as
just
he
let him know
knows-
you're here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just let him know. Hey, Uncle Reg, Arrow's here. Drop me a
Come
line.
say hi.
I'll tell the fish what to say. So when it gets to Reggie, it says in Alhena's voice, "Hello, Uncle Reggie. This message is from Arrow. Please call them. Thank you."
Perfect. All right. In the meantime,
Leave a message at the beep.
You may not respond to this message.
All right. Message sent. In the meantime, what would you guys like to do?
You want me to show you around?
Oh, and I give the fish
Yep.
A snack.
Yeah, sure.
I think this district, probably in like the next district over, there's a good seaweed ramen shop that I went to a lot.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I'm in. Let's go right now.
Water breathing time.
All right. Cast your spell.
And I can breathe water, so you can save it on me if you need to. I don't know how many people can go
It's
on.
10 people, so
Okay.
Kellen is so excited to do this.
you can breathe like
It's
so good.
Lifelong
Arrow.
dream.
Breathes so good. My my
You're getting
asshole
twice
really
as much
frees up,
oxygen.
Yeah. I die.
You're Oh, I was muted. You're super,
Super
like
high.
incredibly high.
Perfect. And I can also cast Shape Water at will, so if I need to scoot anyone along.
Mm-hmm.
help
Our
move
friends
s-
with hooves.
Yeah, I can do that.
It's like a
Uh,
graceful doggy paddle. I don't know if Alhena is heavy enough that she might be able to kind of like kick along the bottom, but
The bottom of what?
well, I mean like of like any buildings or stuff that are underwater.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like you guys have a good enough ability to move through the water. If not, there are. If you want, you can get a cart to travel, but for the most part, I can say you guys are pretty
It's a
easy.
graceful sort of doggy paddle.
Yes, with the breaststroke thrown in there.
Oh yeah, maybe I can propel myself really well. I got 6 fucking limbs.
That's true. It's like a lot of like, I would say, quick movements with the feet, like that horse that walks really fast. It's like a little bzzz. Yeah, Ara, you can show them some spots where your favorite spots where you grew up. You can find your favorite ramen shop. But yeah, how long has it been since you've been here?
Well, Arrow is 28 years old, and I think left around 18, so probably about 10 years.
Okay. Things are fairly similar, but places change over 10 years. And there's like a few new shops. The ramen shop is still there because it's the best in town. But there are some of the places you knew, like bookstores or pastry shops, like that sort of stuff. Not a pastry shop. Pastries underwater. Different types of shops have changed hands, or they're like completely different types of businesses at all. But you can maneuver your way through the city pretty well. I think.
I was gonna say, I imagine Arrow is constantly having, like, when you're walking with a crowd of people and you keep moving quickly and have to move back, because Arrow's got a swimsuit of 45 feet, so I think it's just like zooming ahead and then, oh shit, okay, sorry, I'm back up here, and like it's like really just like going back and forth very anxiously. I think it's very excited to be here and also very nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the people you see here. There are some water genasi. There are some tritons, which I don't know if any of you have seen before. They look a lot like Arrow, but their structure is a little bit different. They're smaller, and they have more physical physique of like a warrior. They're all ripped for whatever reason, and their hair's a little bit more kept. They're more, whereas the water genasi are more genie-like. They're more human-like in their form. There are some kuatoa there, as Tanya put in the chat. They have fish heads, little stubby arms, and little webbed feet. They're moving around. There are some more like people who look between the kuatoa and the tritons, who have more fish-like facial features, but are still more human-looking in physical form. Arrow, you recognize that there are water elementals moving through as well, which is very common. They are very hard for those with an untrained eye to see in this space because they look just like water. Basically, they look like a cloud almost moving through the water. And they seem to keep out of people's way for the most part. But as you guys kind of make your way towards, you sit down for some good old-fashioned ramen. Arrow, you do get a little voice in your head. I say little. It is a rather booming voice of your dear Uncle Reggie. He says, "Welcome back, sir, little Arrow."
Reggie. What? Hey. Surprise.
I'm glad that you have found your way back.
Well, I'd say me too, but I'm kind of nervous about being here. Didn't really mean to come back so soon. How you doing, man?
As good as can be expected.
Yeah?
The Padishah will be pleased to hear that you have arrived.
Pleased. Really?
Of course.
She doesn't want to like pleased in that it'll be much easier to like throw me in the dungeon.
Things have changed since you have left.
No shit.
Shit.
Okay. Details. What happened?
come to the palace.
You're not fucking with me, right? You're not gonna like. We're still tight, right? You're not gonna send me there just to get arrested.
Little Arrow, I was the one who helped you escape.
I guess that's right. Cool. Sure. Yeah. A friend of mine wanted to. I'm here with some other people. Can they come too?
Yes, of course.
Okay. They wanted to see the library. They got some questions. There's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, we can talk more about it when I get there. It's not like a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but
as you know, my hands are in many different places.
yeah.
So we will talk when you get here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. Well, it's really good to talk. I do want to catch up and tell you what I've been up to when I can talk to you.
I will be happy to
face.
hear.
Yeah.
Come around back, and I shall let you in.
All right. Cool. All right. See you in a bit.
Connection ends.
Did Era just like zone out for like 5 minutes? Like
you could either zone out or to have said that out loud.
I like that Era said all of that out loud.
Era, I don't want to make assumptions, but you've never done that before. So
Oh yeah, right. Reggie.
Was it the ramen?
Yeah. No.
it didn't make me telepathic.
No, Reggie called, said hi, said to come to the castle, said that things have changed, and that I'm not in trouble.
Well, hopefully that's good.
Yeah. Reggie wouldn't have me come back if it wasn't safe for me, so I trust him. I don't remember him being this cryptic, but I was a lot younger when I left, so I'm kind of worried at what happened. Well, do y'all want to go to the castle then?
Sounds awesome. Is there a lot of fish in there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Great. All right.
Moxie, there are fish everywhere. I'm sorry.
Moxie's keeping her cool. Once she saw the half fish, half people legs, she was relieved that they weren't actual human legs, because that's what I pictured. So that's like a little bit of a relief, but she's still kind of freaked out, but the food made her happy.
I feel like I need to make a choice before we go on any farther. Like, is Colchis going around in his heavy armor? Or is that like not possible to do?
It's fantasy. We'll say you can do that. It's fine. You're able to maneuver. You all are able to maneuver fairly well and speak without having any issues underwater, stuff like that.
I always imagined that a water breathing gave you the ability to talk underwater too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
this isn't the Justice League
derails
where you
the
have to
games.
put a bubble of air down to speak. Goddamn. Anyways, before we go into the castle, let's take our break for the evening. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place. Make sure to grab yourself a snack, a beverage, wish Mecca a happy birthday, and we'll be back in 5 to 10. Bye! Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Our friends are traveling to the castle in the Citadel of 10,000 Pearls. This beautiful building which stretches over, I would say, half of this floating island, spherical island in the plane of water. You would know the way to get to the back. Reggie was asking you to pretty much just like go to where he is outside of the castle. As you guys get closer and closer, you see that there's a lot more security. There are guards and such on their way on your way in there. It's guarded from the buildings level as well as above, so that nobody can come in and attack or sneak in. But you know your way through the back entrance, the back ways, and nobody seems to be like questioning that you're here. It looks like you've been heralded at this point. People know that, at least the ones in the back know that you are arriving. You guys see the building more clearly now. There's a lot of like almost, it looks like white marble walls. There are golden inlays. There's blue, almost looks like coral accents. Like it looks like somebody created a building and then placed corals on there to not only give it more life, but to give it more beauty. And as the corals have been growing and taking over certain spots, there's no vegetation on the building itself or any mold or like algae or anything like that. It is very well taken care of, but you can see why people would call it the City of 10,000 Pearls. So you guys kind of enter into this large courtroom in the back, and for the rest of you, you've been seeing sort of a moving blob on the back of this building. It's about 30 feet up in the air, and as you get closer to it, you can see coming into more clarity Reggie, who is a giant, he's a gargantuan-sized creature, and he's a kraken. His body is made up sort of a form, this fish-shaped form, where he's got like two sort of clawed arms that are smaller than like normal hands. They're wider like fins, but they do have sort of some appendages on the end. His head is extended out. His mouth is just a straight line across. Eyes on either side of his head with a bridged brow over him, and he has a little bit of fin work. His chin is made up of, it almost looks like twisted together tentacles. He keeps it very well maintained. And his lower half, as you see him at eye level, all you can see are a mass of like stumps of tentacles, basically, that are going into these tubes in the back of the building. And I don't know if anybody knows anything about krakens, but they're very large, and most of it is made out of tentacles. So probably 2/3 of it is the length of his length is tentacles. So you can just see his sort of body space, and he turns and looks down at you guys again, 30 feet up in the air, and you see the lips part into this incredibly toothy smile. It is all, if you didn't know what you were walking into, this would be very terrifying. And you all hear in your head in common, "Welcome, friends of Arrow, to the Citadel of 10,000 Pearls."
Moxie rushes forward, like, "Hello, I am Moxie. Nice to meet you." But she kind of stops before she gets to touching distance.
Arrow, just like a rocket, double dashes straight up towards Reggie to give him the most adorably tiny hug. Just like like onto
arms
the side
fully
of his
stretched.
head. Yeah, just like splats up against the starfish and says, "Reggie."
You see his eyes sort of squint a little bit as the smile deepens, and you hear in your heads again, "My name is Regulus Thor, but friends of Arrow may call me Reggie."
Hi, Reggie.
You guys see one of the tentacles that is in one of the tubes snakes its way out and begins like a snake, coils as it comes out of this large tube, and you can see how large this and long these tentacles actually are. And the end of it has some suckers on it. And Era, you feel this sucker that's probably about the size of you press it to your back softly, and there is a the softest as he can little pat on your back. And then
Killed me.
he returns his tentacle back into the tube.
Oh, Reggie, I made you something, and is gonna pull out one of the a tiny seaweed bundle. It says, I made these. There's rice that's marinated, like a sticky rice marinated from some of the seasonings I found in. Anyway, you gotta try it. You gotta try it, man.
The large being opens its mouth and sticks out two of these tentacle tongue things. You are able to swim up and deposit it in his mouth. You see it. The tongue is, he's a large creature, so the movements are slow as it returns back in. His mouth closed, and Arrow, you hear, very well seasoned. You have been practicing.
Dude, that's all I've been doing pretty much. It's been awesome.
Good. Tell me about your companions.
Right. We've been together, what? It's a few months, weeks now. I've lost track of time. This is points to everyone at a time. Talon and Moxie, and the big one back there is Kulkus, and the other big one, that's Alhana.
It is a pleasure.
But yeah, we just kind of stumbled this way. We're working on some other stuff right now, and just happened to be in the neighborhood.
I'm very glad you've come back.
Yeah, so what's up, man? Everyone just let me in. I really wasn't expecting that.
There is a new Padishah.
What?
Yes.
What happened?
There was, as you know, things shift in this plane, and Kalbari was shifted out.
Like a coup?
You know I do not like to gossip.
Bullshit. You love
It
to
was
dish the goss.
A coup is a good word.
So, who's in charge now?
Would you like me to tell you, or would you rather see it for yourself?
Oh, fuck. As long as it's someone who's gonna be happy to see me.
Of course.
I'm fucking terrified, man.
I can tell you if it will ease your conscience.
I feel like you're waiting for a very dramatic reunion here, so I don't want to rob you of that moment. Sure.
All right. I will guide you through the halls. You might remember your way, but as the butler, it is my duty.
Yeah.
Can I get you anything? As he says to the rest of you.
Y'all good? We just ate on the way here. So.
Yes, we did just come from a meal, but thank you.
As you wish. Please do not hesitate to reach out for my mind if you need anything.
Noted. Thank you.
My
There is
brain is already a little crowded.
It's very good at multitasking. Make your way in.
Yeah. Turns to the others. See, Reggie's like the best, right?
Seems cool.
I can't really imagine having a better uncle. And just like so sweet. I mean, seriously. If you need anything, like you'll like right away.
Whatever happens next, I think I can say for all of us, we have your back.
Yeah. I have literally no idea what we're walking into. Not that I usually do, but this is like overthrowing the padishah that's I don't know if that sounds like as big of a deal as it is.
Yeah, overthrowing a ruler is kind of a big deal everywhere, I'm pretty sure.
But like a married like I mean anyway, I need to know more information on this because as far as I knew, she was like all powerful.
Do you have any guess as to who it could be? Because Reggie seems to think you're going to have some kind of reaction.
I have literally no idea what we could be walking into. I don't know. I don't know who would have done something like that, but
Well, as
I
long
don't
as
know.
you know or trust that Reggie's not going to put you in danger, I think it'll be okay.
No, Reggie's family. Reggie wouldn't do that to me. Or you all, by extension.
Arrow, you can prep them. Do you want to tell them what a Madrid is?
Oh shit! Yeah,
They already told Alhena.
Yeah, do y'all know
They've
what a
talked about it.
Madrid is?
A Marid?
Married?
Marid,
Why do
sorry.
I keep saying Madrid?
I said Madrid.
A Madrid.
Pagoda,
It's a
not
place in
Bogota.
Spain.
Y'all know what a
That's
Married
where the new
is?
Pokemon games are.
Yeah.
Rio de Janeiro.
uh,
So you know what like a djinn is, right? Wish granting, elemental. Yeah.
Yes, in
So
theory.
yeah, Marids are like the water plains version of that. So like very magical, very powerful, grants wishes, that sort of stuff. Basically the god of this world.
Are we
what
gonna
would be
get
the
wishes?
appropriate way to greet this person? Do you bow? Do you curtsy? Do you kneel?
All of the above.
I don't know if I can do all this. I'll try.
We call it a Kursnil here.
You can only do it
Honestly,
floating.
Yeah, it might be easier because, yeah, you'll be able to just float in the water to do it.
But like your eminence, your majesty, that sort of stuff.
I find your highness is usually a safe bet
That
when you
works
don't
too.
know.
Yeah. Just be respectful, I guess. So yeah.
Okay.
That was my old room. It's like
Oh.
swing past.
Wonder
It's
what
very
they've done
small.
with it.
Turned it into a gym.
Yeah, I was gonna say you peek it and it's just workout equipment in there. It's storage now.
It's hooked
The
up to my
unused treadmill.
posters.
Yeah.
Treadmill with a bunch of clothes hanging on it.
As you guys make your way through this,
One tentacle using the treadmill.
as you guys make your way through this building, the hallways are probably 20 feet tall, and at least as you move through them. These are just the back corridors, and as you get more towards the center of the castle proper, they become even more large and elaborate. There's different depictions of different djinn on the walls. There's the rulers of the past. It's kind of like going into a very elaborate church. They have stories sort of told out in these images. And you make your way guided by a single tentacle that you can see through holes in the walls. There are a series of tunnels through the castle that have spaces for Reggie's tentacles to move through and pop out at any point if it is needed. So you can kind of see the tentacle moving through and past you, and you are guided to the main hallway, the main chamber in front of the Arrow would know, the grand entry of the palace, the great, what is it, the sitting room where the king sits.
Throne room?
The throne room, thank you. Make your way to the entrance of the throne room. The doors are about, I would say, 30 feet up. They sort of are circular, more elongated, I guess, and open outwards. There is detailing all around and all the way from the ceiling to the floor. And you're sort of in the center of this, and a tentacle pops out from the wall, and you all hear in your heads, welcome to, as he starts to give the speech, welcome to the city of Pearl. You are about to meet the Padishah. Please address them as Padishah, Your Majesty, or Sir. If you know their titles, please state them. If not, you are visitors, it will be forgiven. Welcome! And the doors, you see him hit a switch, and the doors open into this grand throne room, where there are a lot of tables on the sides, but it is all empty. And as you make your way inside, there is a large chair that's probably about 20 feet tall and about 7-8 feet wide, sitting at the end of this hallway. The doors close behind you as you make your way up closer towards this throne. And there is just a moment too long of a pause where nothing is happening before a great puff of smoke appears under this water, and it sort of starts dispersing in front of the throne. And you see Arrow, someone you recognize, Goatee. You're the prince that you knew growing up, the son of the last Padishah, and the rest of you see a tall, sort of turquoise, humanoid-looking person who is wearing a seaweed-wrapped or weaved cloak that sort of is just, it's more like a sash, that is just over their shoulder, tied at their side, and that is literally it. The rest of them is completely out to the air, out to the world, and they sort of have these golden cuffs on that extend up their arm like a gauntlet, and they present themselves and just say, oh, also, they're 16 feet tall. This is a very large being, and it goes, ha-ha!
Moxie immediately is clapping, like, Your Majesty, that was fantastic.
Go?
Oh, yes.
My dear friend Arrow!
Talon's trying the Kurt Neal thing. But nobody else is doing it, so she's like, oh no. Oh, I made an idiot out of myself.
Yeah, Arrow's just like
Alhena.
frozen in place.
Alhena's in the back, just kind of puts a hand on Talon's shoulder and kind of like rights her so she's upright again.
But you're like spinning through the water, so just like pulling her back.
She's graceful. She just looks like an idiot now.
Little sideways.
What What are you? Are you? Okay, what's going on?
My dear friend, it is so wonderful to have you back. I, of course, have changed titles.
I'd say so. You kicked out your mom?
It's not that bad. It wasn't that extreme. Most people didn't like her anyways, right?
I mean, no. But what? Shit, dude. Reggie?
Yes.
I can see why you didn't tell me. Okay. All right, Your Highness, like, does a quick but curse Neil. Your Highness,
Come on.
the fuck?
I am so glad you came back, my friend.
I am too. You could have sent me, like, a letter or something to tell me you were in charge now.
And where would I send this? I'm busy. I'm in charge now.
That's fair.
And
Where
you were off living your own life, finding different ways to cook. How was I? Why? I was not the person to step in and squash your dreams.
I have spent the last 10 years assuming if I ever came back that someone was gonna, like, cut my head off.
Until last year, that would have been true.
Last year?
Yes.
Shit. Where is your mom now?
Let's not speak of it. Introduce me to your friends.
Right. Talon, Moxie, Kolkus, Alhena, the squad. The God Squad, as we've called ourselves. This is Your Majesty. I'm really gonna have a hard time with that, man.
It is all right. Things here are a little less formal these days.
Right.
At least with friends. You see this being swim over, and as he does, he sort of morphs into water. And he gets close to you guys. You can see the water sort of swirling in front of you in this little tornado underwater. And he reappears smaller, your size, but he is sort of donning this like really formal armor that seems to be woven from some sort of almost coral like structure. There's a lot of different braziers and pieces. It almost looks piecemeal, but it really kind of fits together. Like, it looks like it's haphazard, but on purpose. And he swims over to everyone and, like, says hello in turn and gets over to Kalkus and just says, "And you? Tell me more about yourself."
Oh, well, Padisha, I am Kolkus. I am but a humble follower of Lyra, the goddess of joy, back on the material plane.
Then you must put on a show for us.
Oh, I certainly can if that is your wish, but I will say that Moxie here is the one more practiced at giving performances.
Indeed. You
Though
have
I will
quite
say
the
I
troupe.
make, yes, though I will say I do make very good company in more personal settings.
That is wonderful to know. Arrow, you found yourself in the company of many great people.
Yeah. Yeah. They've been a big help. It sort of all just kind of happened. It's a long story that I don't fully understand. But yeah, they've been really nice to travel with. And they like my food too, so that's like a plus.
I'm eager to try it. Have you spoken to your father recently?
No. No, I haven't. Have you?
No, not since he left.
I was gonna ask if he'd come back.
No, we have not seen him. But I do have a piece of knowledge that might help you find your way back to your father.
What?
Oh, okay, just tell you? That's not how these things work.
Okay. What are we gonna race or something? What did we do back? I don't really feel up to a drinking contest right now. We just spent a long time like partying and stuff, and things got really out of hand in the last plane that we were in. So
No. I have something better. You have been honing your skills, yes?
yes.
We have a new head chef. And I propose. And he claps his hands, and all of a sudden, the whole room becomes populated with different sorts of cooking apparatuses and underwater fridges and like chopping boards and stuff like that. And he says, "Cook off!"
Oh. Oh no.
Oh, come now, friend.
I've been okay. Who's the new head chef?
Someone you know and hate very much.
Oh god.
Arrow, it doesn't matter. You've been preparing for this.
It's not Jindus, is it? Please don't tell me it's fucking Jindus.
You see from the shadows walks out an old-looking Triton, dark blue hair, green eyes, rough green skin. He's about 5'5", but looks so imposing. He's wearing the typical white chef's outfit. He's got a very like straight jawline, like very imposing. And you see your dad's old sous chef, Jindus. Shandus? Jindus. Jindus. Let's say Jindus.
Hey.
He kind of just stands there, and Ghosty says, "I will give you 1 day to prepare. I shall give you the ingredients and anything you need. But some things you must find out in the world if it is something you want. I can give you the secret ingredient that you are going to use. You know how this works."
I do, yeah. I've been around the block. Sundays, man. Okay, so what's the I've lost the word that I'm looking for right now.
The secret ingredient.
Secret, yeah.
It is. And you see him walk around an area, and as he does, a table appears with sheets and with a tablecloth, and there are covers over a basket, and he pulls it back, revealing it. On the table are these large sort of bubble-like fish. They almost look like puffer fish, but they are red. And he says, "The secret ingredient is the red puff." And you see the Triton kind of like nods his head.
Talon
Looks.
says, clapping. She doesn't know what to do.
Arrow's just like standing next to Jindus and just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks at you, nods, and then moves away back into the kitchen, which is kind of off to the other side, to prepare. You have 24 hours. If you need me, I shall be with my concubines. Goodbye! And there is another puff of smoke, and he is gone.
It's hard to believe, but I feel like he's toned down the theatricality.
That was overwhelming, but like in a good way.
I
Yeah.
think he seems great. Like,
Cool.
I'm all about it.
Very interesting person.
Yeah. Y'all want to help me cook?
Yeah, I'll play
Yeah.
some music.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know what we're doing, but I want to be a part of it.
We're gonna need something. Let me see what we've got here. And Arrow's gonna do a quick lap around the room to see what is available and what they're gonna need for this.
We have to make uni butter.
All right. The way we're going to handle the actual cooking competition is going to be through skill challenges. I don't know if I've done skill challenges with you guys before. Have I? Okay. So the way it works is you have a certain amount of successes that you need to get before you get that amount of failures. You're going to be using skills, or you can use spells. You can use anything. But the rules are we're going to do initiative, and then we're going to move in order. You cannot do the thing the person in front of you did. So if Arrow rolls a survival check, the person after them cannot roll a survival check. But the person after them can. So you can't roll the same thing as the person in front of you, and you also can't roll the same thing you rolled the round before. So you can't just be all the same thing. Make sense? So it's basically you guys tell me what you want to do, and sell me on, basically, you can sell me on what skill you want to use to do it.
Okay.
Cool. But we're going to take the time to prepare tonight, and then next week we'll jump back and start the event because I don't want it to have to run short or cut halfway through, okay?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
And like you said, they have like some ingredients here, but like basic stuff here. But
Yeah.
anything more like specialized, we're gonna have to go.
Correct. Basic for the area. So, like,
Yeah.
there's not exotic salts or anything.
All right. Does lap around. Take some. No, doesn't take notes. Arrow doesn't take notes when they're cooking. Comes back and
Talon can take notes for you.
yeah. Comes back around and says, "All right. Like Go said, the gin dish cooked for my dad, so I can't do anything that I'm gonna have to do something pretty different to. I mean, he's good at what he does. He's an asshole, but he's good at what he does. Okay.
But he does things native to here.
Yeah, I have some.
Luckily,
idea.
you've got friends from lots of places.
Yeah. We're gonna need. Let me think. I'm gonna need chilies. Um, I don't know where we're gonna get those. Get any from around here? There are deep water chilies that we could see if we could find in stock. I don't know if we have anything back on the ship that might be different. But we could try shopping around the town. I'm also going to need mushrooms, carrots. I mean, we're gonna have to find some produce as well. Did we bring anything on the ship?
You would know the ship stocks better than us, and whatever you think you can get from Juru.
Right.
And you picked up some stuff in Ravnica too, right?
I did. Okay, we should probably go back to the ship first and see what we've got there. Okay, I have an idea though.
All right. You make your way to the ship. Go ahead and roll me a survival check to see if you have the things. I'm gonna say make it a straight roll because are you trained in survival?
No.
Okay. You are the one
Can
who
I
picked
help?
up the things from Ravnica, right?
I think so.
Yeah. What would you have? I'm just trying to see what.
If my brain remembers correctly, Arrow wanted to get some like spices and stuff that were like native to Ravnica,
Mhm.
and I think you guys decided that it was like a lot of like curry-ish or
Mhm.
like lots of like spicy stuff.
Yes.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Essentially,
yeah.
I
Sound
can
right?
give. Why don't I have the recipe that Arrow is planning on doing in mind, and y'all can tell me like again like,
Mhm.
and that way everybody can contribute to things that they think might help with this. But I think Arrow's gonna do like a not fillets, but do like a whole cooked fish. These were big fish, right? It was like a big snapper.
Yeah.
Or like a big puffer snapper thing.
Yeah.
you're saying.
I flavor them as they taste like a red snapper,
Yeah.
but they're shaped like a puffer fish.
So I think it's gonna do this equivalent of like a snapper escovitch. So like whole cooked, like spicy over like a sautéed like bed of vegetables like julienne carrots and um onions and ginger and but the big like star of the dish is like it's really spicy, like pulls like a lot of heat from in the like the chilies that would be added. So maybe it's something got in Ravica, I don't know. And then as a side, it's gonna serve that on top of a bed of like I guess the equivalent of like a fan or like a mushroom fan, so like a sticky rice, like a Taiwanese sticky rice on that.
Okay.
And so for that would need like rice wine, ginger, mushrooms, black sesame oil, which is going to be probably the harder thing to get because that's like fermented. And yeah, things like that.
Okay. I think anything dried would be still available on the ship. If it was like fresh peppers are no, there are none of them left. But if you want to try to find some out in the wilds of the market, you can definitely try.
And we're talking about like shopping and less like
Yes.
going out into the deep ocean and
Yes.
hunting for things. Okay.
I can't imagine that you would find peppers in the deep ocean.
It's a magical world, man.
Well, you're true. It's true. All right. So why don't we have you? How best would you get these? Would you barter? Would it be searching? Would it be like, would you know a guy who knows a guy sort of thing, like in the market? Sell me on what you want to roll, basically.
That's probably something that like I think would lean on like Moxie or some other more charismatic friends. I think Colchis is what you've got charisma as a paladin, right?
Yeah.
So who wants to face this adventure?
Might like say like give a grocery list and be like, can y'all go and see what you can find in the market, and I'm gonna take inventory of the ship and maybe get like Alhena and Talon's like more expertise to see what we might be able to substitute from what we have dried on the ship.
All right, perfect.
Are there any
Arrow's a good
foraging?
chef and knows to lead on their sous chefs.
Are there any foraging opportunities?
Sure. If you want to, I think probably some sort of like the mushrooms. The mushrooms you might be able to find them as like a not on the palace, but like you know how mussels grow on the sides of buildings, something very similar in a fungal sort of aspect that could be substituted for the mushrooms. So if you want to try that, for sure.
Oh, also a good thing too, Arrow probably says like there's like high quality salt. So what I found in there was like basic salt, but if we could find something like if you can find some high quality like salt rocks like around, something we could like grind up and have fresh might would really help with the rice as well.
Arrow, I have an idea.
Yes.
Do you think we could build a mini smoker to smoke the salt?
Yes. That's a great idea.
That's my contribution.
Yay!
Smoked salt. I got one.
That would
All
help
right.
definitely bring a lot of umami to the dish, heighten the flavor profile. These are words that I know are cooking related, so I'm just gonna
It sounds
these.
great.
Yeah.
I would say
Smoked salt on fish.
I was gonna ask, like, magically, does anyone have anything that might help with like fermenting something really quickly?
check your cantrips, people.
I mean, I have purify food and drink. I don't know if that would do anything for us. I mean, because mechanically it just renders it free of poison and disease, but
Yeah, I could say it would. I mean, like if you find wild mushrooms, you might be good to clean them off and make sure that they're. I think that'd be a good thing. That might be a good thing to use in the kitchen as well. That'd be an interesting spell to flavor it how you want, sort of thing. I will say when we do the skill challenge next week, if you are casting a spell, you will just have to roll your spell casting modifier as your roll. So even if it's just like they need to make a save sort of thing, you'll still be rolling for it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I use Cloud of Daggers to help them chop stuff up?
Absolutely.
Just throw stuff in it.
Like a blend. I love that. It's like a ninja blender.
Yes.
You just like throw carrots through it and they come
Yeah.
out like perfectly julienned on the other side.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys a week to figure out the best, like how to maneuver your abilities to best help out in the kitchen, and maybe even determine what places you guys have what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that like probably 2 teams, one to handle the rice and one to handle the fish. So the rice,
Yeah,
is gonna
absolutely.
the fish is going to be like, preparing, like gutting the fish, people that are good at that kind of stuff, and then like that'll be most of it, and then the rice is more like prepping all the vegetables and
That's what I'll do.
mixing the ingredients, and then somebody maybe help with the presentation of the dish too.
All right, sounds good to me. Is there anything you guys? Why don't we have everyone make a roll of what you're doing in preparation to get things ready? So whether it's, foraging or shopping or preparing, like smoking stuff, make a roll that makes sense for it for me, and we'll see how well it goes.
I also was playing music during this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I want to give Bardic Inspiration to Arrow.
Okay.
I think Arrow's gonna go last. Essentially, I was thinking more Arrow's Rose, like doing like a practice dish tonight with some of the ingredients that we have to make sure to like see how it's gonna turn out, to make sure it'll be good. To also like know what they're doing tomorrow.
Okay. Make your rolls, people.
Oh, okay. So I have a question. If I'm going to like help shop for things and be charismatic, part of that for Moxie is going to be playing music.
Sure.
In order to coax them. So could I use possibly a performance for that?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Also, we're cooking for the palace, like making it performing up the event itself.
I rolled a 2, of course.
But you have a plus 11.
Yeah, so I got 13.
All right. It takes some coaxing. You're gathering ingredients from the market?
Yeah, I'm going to the market. I'm talking to people, telling them what we're doing it for, playing music. Trying my best to dazzle them.
Yeah, I think people are receptive to it. I think because you are mentioning and because role wise, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more because it's like, oh, this is for the prince. Well, the royals, they have money to spend, so I would say take 10 gold out.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
I have kind of 2 ideas, and maybe these would be things more for like closer to the actual event. But since it seems like Moxie has the shopping handled, either Colchis could do like athletics to rearrange some of the equipment to Arrow's liking, or I could do medicine to like, assuming that this red puffer is like pufferfish in our world, where it's like, hey, some parts of these you don't want to eat, and just like ensuring that we know which cuts of those are the safe ones.
Yeah, studying the makeup of the pufferfish and understanding it better would be definitely beneficial. So you can roll either of those.
I'll go with the athletics because I'm better at that.
Okay.
And so I'm also imagining like if Goatee is there observing, Colchis would return without the armor and just
Hey,
really
yo.
playing it up. Because yeah, that's the other way that
Let me
I
just
can
move
contribute
this
is
over here.
just being eye candy and
Uh-huh.
flirting. But so that athletics is a 24.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think I picture Arrow is like standing at the spot, and then they'll like turn, and then you'll move something like where it should be, so they don't have to like, step away or like walk in the wrong direction. And I think I'm sure at some point Gautier will come back and check out how things are going, and you see them sort of, they'll return in their normal form, which is the reason I said Madrid is because either it auto corrected or I corrected it to Madrid in my notes, and I was like, that's not right. But his 16-foot tall, mostly naked form, just sitting on the throne, observing, and he's very excited or interested about what's happening. Who's next?
So I have oh, go ahead.
So I was gonna have Alhena, because I have Druidcraft, which can, what's the word I'm thinking of? But like makes things like bloom and can open and close seed pods and like stuff like that. So I think Alhena and at Arrow's behest is like sort of taking stock of what herbs and like plants and stuff they think they're gonna need, and since they want to do a like a test dish, are like trying to like open seed pods and like essentially like duplicate some of them and create like more resources, so they have more to work with.
Okay, cool. I like that. Yeah, you're able to do that. We're not doing the skill check yet, so you don't have to you can just cast it. But if that sounds good, I can imagine that would even like I'm thinking like even like a popcorn sort of situation where like you can make it pop, and that would be an interesting yeah, I like that idea. Very cool. Very good. Okay, Talon.
So my idea isn't what I'm the most proficient in, but I feel like it might be good for Arrow. Arrow grew up with this person that's going to be like judging, right? Because like the Padishon is like judging the competition. So my thought is, what are the foods that you loved as kids? Because evoking like a flavor that will like hit him with a memory might be a good thing to throw in, either as like a dessert or like as a sauce on top. So I think like Talon spends her time like, maybe going back and forth between like Arrow and like the Padishon, and just like making casual conversation, maybe about childhood and like, trying to like maybe like a history type of thing, like to just try to like get an idea of what to like give Arrow to like really like hit them with like a memory while they're eating the food.
Yeah. I mean, I would say you could do that as a history or do that as like a persuasion, as in you're trying to like get Arrow to open
history.
Okay.
Because that's a little bit better than persuasion.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, regular dice don't hate me. That is an 18 plus 5.
Hey, yo!
So...
All right. You tap into Arrow's past, and as you're talking to them, you kind of, Arrow, you remember something. Your dear friend Go, and you used to sneak out of the palace and go find this very specific mussel that only grows at the base side of the orb, where it's in sort of the darker side of the city, and that is one of their like favorite, like it's served raw. It's very much a like appetizer sort of dish, but something that they're really really interested in. Like you have this like whole memory of it and good times all around sort of thing.
Sneaking out of the palace to go pick these themselves kind of jam.
Yeah.
Well, Talon's gonna go find those then.
All right.
I think like if I can add a little on to that too, I imagine that Go really wouldn't have been allowed too much like in the kitchen and stuff to like cook or anything like that. And like Arrow as one of the kitchen staff would probably bring him his meals a lot too. And I have to imagine that like he's a pretty eccentric guy and really liked like weird food, and so Arrow would always be trying to do something like different and weird and like unique with the foods that he brought, like just making these like getting these mussels and then like making them like the spiciest that like any living creature could reasonably consume, or like brewing because Arrow brewed a lot of like liquor and stuff too, and like bringing that as well to like drink together and get wasted on as young adults. So
I dig it.
I like that maybe talent and bringing that out while getting those. Maybe Arrow thinks about actually incorporating the liquor that they create as part of this meal.
Like booze marinated mussels.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, and I think Arrow's just gonna do the test dish then, and practice this to hopefully gain a little bit more insight into what to do differently or better or something the next day.
I will say if you roll well on this, I'll give you inspiration for so you have an extra roll for next week.
Okay.
We have inspiration right now too.
Is it a D8
Different
or
inspiration.
D6?
Yeah, D8.
Okay. This is like the DM inspiration that I get for doing all this. Okay, gotcha. All right. Can I do a check with my cook's utensils? Dexterity?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't imagine that you'd cook with anything else.
Yeah. It's mostly instinct and finesse. I'm just gonna roll my acrobatics because that's the same skill. The same bonus. And then plus a D6 or D8.
Yeah, it should be a D8 at this level.
So 24.
All right. You will get inspiration. Your test dish, everyone. This helps everyone else get an idea of what you're going to be doing as well, so that tomorrow will go more smoothly for you.
I think Arrow has everyone gather and like does the preparation, like walks through like this is what we'll do, and this is how we prepare the fish, and this is how you should gut it, and everything like that, and then the rice as well, and then prepares some for everybody to taste test as well.
So y'all know what it's got to look like, what it's got to taste like. Good news for the actual event. And I think that's where we'll end it for tonight, because next week we will have our Iron Chef battle of chef versus chef, and I'm excited to get that going. But for now, let's go on and have everybody say where people can find you, what you do. Of course, starting with Savvy.
That's me again. Hi, I've been Savvy. You can find me on the internets at Savvy Seaworth, and when I'm not here, I am on twitch.tv/game nights.
And I'm Val. Like Savvy, you can find me on DGK most of the week. Join us on Friday. We'll be continue our Dragon Age game. This week we had to miss last week, and then obviously Ward 47 on Saturday. So we have a lot of fun with that. We're playing Parslings. If you haven't heard of that game, you should check it out. It's a very fun indie game. But yeah, that's me.
And I'm Tanya. You can find Pugs at The Abominable Pugs on Instagram. I have a new episode of Spider Facts with Billy out that you can find anywhere you get podcasts. If you live around Grand Rapids, I'll be performing November 28th at the Comedy Project, or go to ohheyimprov.com for more information.
Hi, I'm Rachel. Rachel's with here on Twitch, where I haven't been streaming recently because I'm playing D&D 3 times a week on the internet with my friends. I'm here on Sundays. I'm on GGK on Mondays, and on Thursdays I'm on Nerd Merchant's YouTube channel. On Instagram and Twitter, you can find me at Rachel is most with a Z in the middle instead of an S.
Then that brings us to me. Hi, I'm Alex, OMG it's some guy on the internets, mostly over on GGK, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, that's it.
And I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches. This is Simon. He is a big boy now. And the next time I'm going to be live is tomorrow evening on Indoor Adventures channel. The next time this channel is going to be live is on, I think, Wednesday. Lauren is going to be playing some games because Thursday we're going to be dark for the holiday. And then we'll be back on Friday for some more horror games. Hopefully my IT guy, aka RJ, is going to help me so that I can launch games on my, because I've been having issues recently. But yeah, that's it for this channel. So thank you for joining us. If you're watching this on YouTube, I guess give it a like and give it a thumbs up as you do. I appreciate all you guys for hanging out. Good to play with my players again and see everybody in this context. I'm glad to be back into things. Ready to push on towards the next part. And I guess until next time, I'm LB Hackemup. Hack recklessly. Bye!